Alright boys, there is nothing more entertaining in a slow period of FGO than doing some good old-fashioned speculation videos. Now, I know that the summer reveal for the JP servants is quite a ways off. It's going to be like after their anniversary in a couple of months, but I'm sitting over here just coping that we're going to get Summer Morgan, but then it had me thinking, what other summer servants could we get this year? Because last year we got 6 summonable servants, technically 1 free-to-play servant, but that was split into like 3 different free-to-play servants and they all got a different costume, so technically we got a bunch of free-to-play servants if you really want to look at it that way. So I just wanted to do like a fun little video here, kind of speculating and giving my thoughts on who I would like to see and think are likely to maybe get a summer outfit this summer. And it's also going to be nice because I want to see what you guys think we're going to be getting in the comments down below. You know, let me know what summer servants you're looking forward to. I still think we're way off to get like a redraft of a character, because I was going to put in like Artoria as like a meme or something, as like a little bit of a joke, but I'm like, no, we're probably still a ways off before they start retreading over our old servants. Now, I do want to say that I did leave Ereshkigal off of the top 5 here. I do think she's very likely to get a summer servant, but I don't know. I feel like I've been burned a little bit too much on Ereshkigal not getting a summer servant. I mean, what? She's a year 2 servant and we're in year 8. You know, Ishtar got hers during year 2. We just have not even sniffed anything close to a summer Ereshkigal, so I've kind of given up hope at that point. Although you could definitely tell that like the 3rd character I'm going to go over is also definite Cope, but come on, there's at least a story beat for that, so give me that much. So the first servant that I'm kind of expecting or wanting to get as a summer servant is going to be Koyanskaya. I think this would actually be kind of a hype servant to give us, right? Because we have a support version of Koyanskaya, so maybe they could actually go ahead and give us a DPS version of Koyanskaya that actually pairs very nicely with the original Light and Darkness one, and then you could just have an all Koyanskaya team, and that just sounds really cool to me. Now, the other direction I could see them taking this character is kind of the Summer Scotty approach, where they take her and they make her like another Buster support type servant, as they did with Scotty, and making her another quick support type servant. Although with Summer Scotty, the quick support was kind of needed, whereas Buster is in a really good spot right now. They have some very strong DPS servants, both single target and AoE, and they keep getting some pretty strong guys. Koyanskaya plus Oberon is still like the best farming you could be doing in the game right now. Not even have to worry about like looping and anything. You just worry about obliterating the enemy with raw damage. But I would like to see it. Like, I think it's kind of a like possible thing we could get. I don't know, this is just more of a personal thing for me because I like all of the Tamamos, and hey, I think it'd be cool for me if they did make her a Buster support, because on JP, been playing for like 2 years, still no Koyanskaya. I have no idea how I've just not gotten her at any point, just whiffed every single time she's come out. But you know, maybe, you know, they just make her Koyanskaya of the Light 2, call it the summer version, and then, you know, I think I'll be happy with that. But I would just like to see a Koyanskaya in general. It may be a little bit iffy because while she is popular, she is still fairly new, and like newer servants are kind of on that like borderline tier of whether or not they're too new to get a summer servant, because it seems like there's like, I don't know, like what would you say, like a 2-year period before they start making some servants a summer servant. So we'll see with that one. Now, the next one is Nikki over here, or Dobrnia. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. If not, all of my Russian followers are going to come break my kneecaps. And I like having my kneecaps, but with, I'm just going to call her Nikki because I don't want to butcher the name for the entire section over here. With Nikki over here, I actually view giving her a summer servant as kind of being able to retread the servant. So some of you guys have maybe heard me talk about some year 1 servants that are just really hard to save, like say Medea and Medusa, where you can definitely get some value out of them, but if they really want to make them very strong options, they're gonna have to do a lot of buffs on them. And even then, because of like some underlying issues where like say Medea's damage on her NP, or just Medusa having very low hits, they might be just like fundamentally unsavable because their fundamental issues are something that they can't change. Like, it doesn't seem like they have the ability, at least right now, to change the base hits of servants, and they don't have the ability to like apparently not go change Medea's damage values for her NP. So I see a lot of these summer servants as an opportunity to kind of reset the character, quote unquote, right? Give us a new version of the character that might be able to do something similar but is a little bit better, which Medea and Medusa are not on the list because, again, like Ereshkigal, I think if we were going to get a Medea and a Medusa, I think we would have gotten them already. I don't want to cope any harder than I already am. Like, again, I would love to see Ereshkigal, Medea, Medusa. If we got all 3 of them, I would be ecstatic, but I'm tired of being burned. And Nikki is one of those newer characters that I think that they might just throw on a banner, right? Like, I don't think anybody was expecting Summer Gareth or Summer, what's her name, Eris, right? I don't think anybody was expecting those people to get their summer variations. And Nikki's like one of those characters that I'm like, okay, who do I think they might like throw out there that I also really like? And I'm like, okay, maybe they'll just throw Nikki at the wall and hope it sticks. Because honestly, she's not like the worst servant on the planet. I do try to use her when I can. I have her grailed on JP, but like, she's not exactly like competitive with a lot of other servants. Like, I specifically only go out of my way to use her because 1, she's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Blue Eyes White Dragon reference, and 2, she's really cute. So like, I would love to get a summer version that might be a little bit more viable. Think of like Summer Corday, right? Like, Summer Corday, I feel almost blows the original one out of the water. I know it's not like too much competition because it's a bronze servant versus a gold servant, but you know what I'm saying. Like, they really went all out, and I think making Corday a lot better as a summonable servant, or at least a more premium servant. So I'm hoping we can see something like that with Nikki. Now, 3, this is the one that I think is really big cope. Like, this is like the big cope spot for me. But Boudica is one of those FGO waifu characters that I think would be way more popular if she was actually like not relegated to being a niche like meme setup character, right? Because Boudica as a waifu character is like absolutely ecstatic. She should be on like everybody's at least top 10, right? Because of just perfect waifu material, right? But then in the second summer event, we got a hint that we were going to be getting a summer Boudica, and I'm like, this is the time. We're going to get the Avenger Boudica that was kind of hinted at in the summer 2 event, and then we're going to get her. She's going to be really good. People are going to like start looking at her lore, but bam, the Boudica project, the revival of Boudica and getting her onto everybody's waifu list is finally going to, you know, actually happen. And it hasn't happened. Again, this is a year 2 thing that happened. So very similarly to Ereshkigal, it's probably not going to happen, if not going to happen for a long time. But this is like my cope spot, right? Because at least with like Ereshkigal, Medea, and Medusa, there isn't like a thing implanted in one of the summer's core stories, right, that actually allude to this. Like, this is something that's been alluded to for a while, and I'd like to see the payoff. Like, at least Ereshkigal, Medea, Medusa are just popular characters that should get one, but they haven't like alluded to the fact that they're coming out. Whereas like Boudica, it's like a story beat. Like, it's literally a part of the story that they're like, oh yeah, here's Avenger Boudica, and she's like, don't worry, I'll be coming with my swimsuit, you know, in some vague amount of time. So I'd love to see her get one sometime in the future. I think she's definitely deserving of one. This is probably not going to come as a surprise to anyone, but Kagetora, I would love to see us get a summer version of Kagetora, because I think she's really strong as a free-to-play servant, and with the whole evocation thing that they're starting to do over on JP, it shouldn't be that long, you know, maybe at worst within like the next year or 2 that we have like all of the free-to-play servants available on JP to just pick up as soon as their events are over, so you can get them at any time. But I'd like to see a summonable version of Kagetora. You know, preferably, I would like her, and this is really me, like, going for a Hail Mary here. I would like to see her get the 5-star treatment, because in her Guda Guda event, she's kind of like the other 5-star like main story servant. It's like Mao Nobu and it's Kagetora. Like, they're the 2 main 5-star people that are running around. So I'd like to see her get the 5-star treatment. I know that's real big cope, and I'll be happy if she gets a 4-star version. Even a 3-star version, another free-to-play option, I don't care. I'll just be happy to get it. But you know, ever since like a couple years ago, where like someone did the sprites for Kagetora's summer model, like they actually like made actual models for them. Ever since I've seen that, I've wanted her to get a summer version in the game, right? I think it'd be super hype. And you know, we have her as a really good single target servant here as a free to play. What if she became like a really good arts looper, or became like a buster DPS, or something a little bit different? I think that could be really cool. And then finally, no surprise to anybody, was anybody really like booting up this video being like, I wonder what ZTL is gonna pick as the #1 like most anticipated summer servant that he wants and think is gonna come out? It's Morgan, right? Like, it's definitely Morgan. This is the one that, okay, it's gonna sound like I'm coping or something right here, but like, it's been a few years, so like, it shouldn't be that she's too new now to make a summer servant. She's kind of debuted in other events a lot. Like, she had her own like lotto thing, and then she also debuted in like the Trung Sister event, which I know is not a summer event, but it's like a summery beach type event. So I'm hoping that with that and some of the CEs having like swimsuit Morgan on them, I'm hoping they're kind of like prepping us to give us Summer Morgan. Now, as for what they could do with Summer Morgan, they could literally do anything, right? Because Morgan could be used as like a stall type servant, a DPS servant, a farming servant. You could even use her as a support type servant if you really wanted to and you really tried hard enough, right? Like, there's so much they could actually do with this servant. I mean, especially like the support thing based on, you know, Morgan's own lore. I'm not going to go into like Lost Belt 6 or anything, but, you know, given her own lore, they could definitely like make her like a really broken support type servant, or like an alternative option for, say, like Buster or Quick, right? I think Quick would be very weird if they made Morgan like the next Quick support. It'd be a little bit goofy, but if they made her like an alternative Buster support type servant, kind of like the Tamamo but for Buster, I think that could be kind of cool. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. These are just 5 of the servants that I was kind of like thinking like, who would I really like to see, but who do I also think are likely for us to get? Boudica is definitely my cope option. This is just mad cope for me. Okay, just let me cope over here, but I definitely think we're at least getting Morgan. Morgan is definitely the one that I think we're going to get, and I am ready to cry on stream when we do not get her.